in our 50s, is it different? Like, what do you seem to think that, like you said, when I got divorced, right? I just couldn't believe it. I said, man, I haven't even been out the loop that long just to see how weird it was. That me and my age was still talking about, you got a big butt or you cute.
Ooh, girl, you know what I can't stand? I can't stand to somebody be like, "What's up, chocolate?" And I be like, "That's the best you can do. Like, that's the best line you got." What's up, chocolate? And I be like, and I just be pausing because I be holding back all the mean things I can say to somebody's son for saying that. Because when you state the obvious, then you make me want to state the obvious. Maybe your stomach's big because you drink too much beer, or maybe you're not that smart, or maybe you should go ahead and cut the rest of your hair out to match that bald patch in the middle. Like, I can say a lot of stuff because those are obvious things, but you stating the obvious, talk about, hey, chocolate, and it's like, no, I'm much rather for you notice something that's gonna be a little bit more valuable about me other than this milk chocolate skin. Duh.
Or your teeth are smoking down here is yellow.
I'm like, boy, don't make me state your obvious. Like, that is so surface.
That cracks me up because I literally live for clapbacks. I don't care how petty or childish, but I be waiting like jump rope, like the double dutch.
No, ask me my name, and then just only call me by my name. Don't call me nothing else. I abandoned the nicknames when I was 12. I refused to listen and to answer the nickname that my family had called me my whole life when I was 12 years old. Because I was thinking to myself, that's a silly ass name. I want y'all to stop saying it.
I had a cousin that didn't like that.
I'm like,
I'm glad.
No, I refuse. And I still got a couple cousins. I see them. They still call me the ridiculous ass name. And sometimes I answer. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I just look at them like, you really just want to hold on to this, huh? I'm begging y'all to stop.
Come on here.
Because I don't like it. I don't like it.
They're not fighting. Are they fighting? What is up next with Juanita, and where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Oh my goodness. So my father was a subcontractor. He was a cement finisher. So he did foundations, driveways, patios, foundations. He did a lot of brickwork. And I'm going to be moving in behind his footsteps in the contracting world. So over the next 5 years, people are going to see me transition from the hospitality space into a space where I'm doing more construction type projects.
I would love to join because my step up dad is
I like the way you said that.
To construction. Then he had his own construction company there from Memphis. But I saw him. He was one of the coldest bricklayers in this city for his age. But all I know, that's how we grew up, was all construction workers on our porch. That's why, let's piggyback. I want to piggyback on you saying your example. From the time I started dating in a serious relationship, I saw my mother every day ran bath water for my dad. His dinner was always cooked, and we sat and ate at the table as a family every day. The house stayed clean. My mother, I'm not saying she stayed sharp, although she didn't stay. It's not like she had on dress clothes every day, but she was presentable. And we, of course, were children, but it wasn't like she didn't have a control over her household. It was no such thing as she don't know what to do with us. That I don't, and it's hard for me to hear parents to say that, although I keep my mouth shut, because they're built different than my mother and myself and yourself. You're just you know, yeah, when they don't know how to get their children to behave. So the house was always clean. She ran bathwater, whether he got in the tub or not. It was always ran. Clothes was always laid out for him to transition out of his work clothes, take that shower, step in, because 9 times out of 10, after he got in, ate a good meal, put on his dress clothes, he hit in the streets. Sometimes with my mother, sometimes not. Didn't matter to her. It was always done. So a lot of things is learned behavior.
Yeah.
Same way when they fought and she stayed, that was learned behavior. She didn't tell me, hey, you know, when somebody put their hands on you, stay. No, of course not. Her thing was, if a man put their hands on you, blah, blah, blah. But she said that, but because children are sponges, I watched you stay. They got into a fight. The next morning, we were up eating breakfast as though nothing happened, although the house is tore up. So, you know, we're cleaning up the mess. But that was normalcy for me. But what I did see when I saw that about my mom, she never went outside looking any other way but proper. She dressed her kids as such. My mother graduated, but she academically, she struggled a lot. But she made sure that with me, that she had a tutor or whoever wanted to help me. My mother was not too proud.
Oh.
Because of what she didn't know, she wasn't too proud to allow other women to help her with her daughter. Of course, you make mistakes along the way because there's no rule book on how to raise. You could just go on what you learned from your parents. So I think my mom saw mistakes her mother made and didn't want to make those same mistakes. So she showed too much leniency with my brother and myself. And so therefore, we are the only really out of her siblings' children, my brother and I are the only ones that really was in the streets. You know, even though it was a different era, like the 80s. But I'm saying, had my mother had more structure, the way she was raised, I do believe our lives, both of ours, would have been different. But I'm saying that to say, when you spoke on how your mother ran the house, but you definitely knew that he was the alpha male, period. My mother is 4'10". I think she thinks she's 4'11" now, but I'm gonna let her have that. And she was a fighter. So it was like, even though there was some fighting going on, she was cracking heads and moving around with her strong little self. And me being the child that I was, that's my mom and I'm helping. So, and then it was always me being very protective over my little brother. But my mother, and my mother didn't see that from my grandmother. So I don't know where my mother got that from, but baby, it has stuck with me when I started dating. So I ran the water. They were street men, but I don't care. They was hustling nevertheless, and they made sure that I lived a very nice life. And then some men that weren't hustler, I haven't dated all, but majority of my life I did, you know, men with money. But then as time went on, I went on. At the end of the day, Tina just wants somebody to love her for who I am, because I feel as human beings, we want to be loved and love someone. There are some exceptions to that, but the majority women, from the word go, we are instantly trained from cartoons to looking at movies where you are little, you play, and you play like you're getting married. You play, even when you're playing with a little boy, he's your husband, you're the wife. You get to cook set. We're cooking with our microwavable thing. Our babies are our babies. So it's already groomed in our subconscious to have babies, be married, have a fabulous wedding, get a house, and live a great life. That's what we are. That's what we want.
Yeah.
Now, does that happen? No, we make wrong choices sometimes. I did most of the time. But I found that I was doing those things. There's a scripture that say, don't throw your pearls before swine. They're trampled over them. They have A pig don't care what a pearl is, a diamond is, or don't care what nothing is. A pig is a pig. It's going to trample. It's going to do what it do. It's going to roll in dirt even after you wash it because he is what he is. So if I give all of that to, not saying that every man I dealt with, I'm using that symbolically. I'm giving my pearls before I'm giving all of this to a man that is not worthy of me doing that. And although I knew, and then when I got saved and understood what that meant at that time, when I walked that particular life, I understood that I was doing all those things for Negroes that were not worthy of it, didn't understand it, didn't value it. And then when I left, want to go crazy, and then they wanted to kill me and be psychotic and all of those things that I went through. But I was sick as well. Now, I'm not trying to just, because you attract what you are. You may not think that. You may think you're on point, and you may think all that, but you attract who you are. And then, not only that, sis, when I saw that you was red flags, let me tell you something powerful that, what's that dude that Cam Newton said yesterday? He was in an interview with Shannon, and he said, well, man, when we see the red flags, man, we supposed to run. Ooh. Cam Newton said sometimes the red flags turn into the Six Flags of entertainment. Girl, it
be pulling you in. You be like,
pull you in. Because the toxic trait that's in us, that it may be laying dormant, but that particular toxic person can bring what's in you already out, and it's exciting, but you had it, you're gonna crash eventually, but it'd be fun sometime if we keep it real. It'd be fun. Sometimes them toxic niggas be fun, man. Sometimes them toxic niggas have the best sex I've ever had in my entire life.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm talking about
preach.
Even when they mean a little bit. I used to be like, love him so much.
Love him so much.
Mean, you understand, because he knew how to handle me. Like, I'm not dealing with all that what you did with this nigga. I'm telling you to be quiet. And I'm like, okay. I love you. So wait a minute. We want to be submissive to someone that we can be so funny to. I'm not being submissive to a clown. I'm not doing it.
Listen. So who was it? Was it Scheherazade Ali? Back in the 90s, girl, they was mad at Scheherazade Ali because she said, just smack her. Now, let me be clear. I am a proud mama. When I say my sons they ain't really never heard nobody talk to me crazy. Mm-hmm. I'm 53 years old. My sons are 34. They really ain't had no whole bunch of crazy ass. They ain't heard nobody talking to Juanita crazy. Mm-hmm. I ain't saying that I ain't had nobody mistreat me. That's not what I'm saying.
I hear you.
I'm saying I'm blessed that my children don't understand any of that.
Yes.
They haven't witnessed any of that. Okay.
That's a blessing, Juanita.
And when I say they ain't never seen, like, girl, I think my sons would not understand anybody putting their hands on me. Mm-hmm. How
as they shouldn't.
And they shouldn't. And I don't I don't advocate any type of domestic violence. That's not what I'm saying. But it is nice when a man understands how to take control. So when I'm speaking about that guy who at the beginning of the week can say what we gonna do on Friday, well, I think we should do so and so and so and so. That means it's like he just got a little foresight. Just like, this is what we gonna do. I want to see you fix it, make it work. Just make it work. You want somebody who ain't all like a noodle every time you dealing with them. Don't nobody want no noodle ass man.
I don't want a noodle anything. A noodle penis,
no.
a noodle.
Wait a minute.
A noodle.
Nothing. Well, I'm sorry, honey. Don't be dealing with the 50-year-olds.
I just said my husband was what it was. And I'm not knocking my brother, because it is some brothers my age, baby, that can put, I'm not saying that. But
all I'm saying is,
no.
It's nice to have a man who understands that he is still a man, that he can still take charge in dealing with a woman who is assertive, who is just as big of an alpha, if not larger. Like, it's nice to have a man who understands that he can still be in charge.
Yeah.
And he can still set the pace. It's like, I want someone who can set the pace. I'm going to run with you, but I need you to be the pace setter.
You have to,
I want you to be the pace setter. Because otherwise, I may run ahead of you. And then if I start running ahead of you, I'm going to look around. You are going to be nowhere near.
I'm not going to respect you, for one. That's me. I'm not speaking for you, Juanita. Me, I don't want to talk. I don't even want a man that's why I find it strange when I see couples where the woman runs everything. I don't say anything because it's not my business, but that's not anything that I want to see. Like I was telling Robin, we were the last time, and I said, there are a couple of guys that I dated, Juanita, that they may say it's a sunny day and we done had some words, or I'm saying something, and it may be his friend I'm checking or something, and he'll take his glasses and I'll sit on right on down. Like, I ain't about to go there with you because I ain't, still trying to hold my own. But
you understand that
understood.
Look.
Like,
yes.
No, and then when we got by ourselves, he said to me, you are too pretty to talk like that. I don't like it, Tina. So I need you to let me be the man. I know you done had some suckers and some men that weren't men, but I'm a man. And I'm not going to let anybody hurt you. I'm not out to hurt you. Everybody's not out to hurt Tina. And he said, you got to learn that. But because I had been through so many guys that did, including, you understand, men, from my biological father on to some of the step-up dads. I mean, you just, the only man I ever really truly respected was Pastor Bill Mitchell as my pastor. That was my first spiritual father pastor. I had never had that kind of respect for a man in my entire life. There's just some things that I never wanted to disappoint him, not because that he was all thinking he was so highly minded, he wasn't no earthly good. It was because he was so raw and so real, and his love for the women in the congregation. We were his daughters, and you felt that. So if you had a lack of father, whatever, or missing that, he really was that to you, and he was really concerned. So like, even when I got married, he said, I want to talk to you, young man. See, I didn't have that.
And good for you. Good for you.
Yeah, Pastor Mitchell was that type of a
some
pastor.
Of these men, they don't understand what it means to be a husband or to be in a relationship. So if you are a man and you grew up with all the women, how in the hell are you supposed to be? The expectation shouldn't even be for you to go out and be the best husband. Because ain't nobody taught you how to be the best husband.
That's so true, Anita.
Yeah. It is a big truth. So we got these women-led households. And then you wonder why a man can't go in and be the leader. Because he waiting for the women to lead. That's his normal. That's his normal.
That's so, I'm
almost apologizing. I'm almost apologizing for expecting that you're supposed to do something that you ain't been trained to do.
Right, and then not only that, you have mothers that, and we talked about this before too on here, where you got some of the mothers that are so hard on the boys, Juanita, because they're trying to make them stronger men, but they're really they're wounding. They are harming the man. You understand, by talking harder on them, especially our culture, right? You know what I'm saying? Little boys can't cry like other races. Boy. We constantly say, quit crying like a little bitch. Get up, boy, you all right. That's our love.
Girl.
No, it's not. He fell, he busted his knee open. The man, he's hurt. And it's okay if he cried. That don't make him soft. That doesn't make him weak because he's crying. I've even said it when a dude was crying to me in times past, when he hurt me though, Because when I got hurt, I went in. I'm talking about went in with surgery on you. I did open heart on you. When you hurt me, my mouth hurted you because I couldn't beat you physically. And I'll never forget, a brother had shared with me about some pain he felt about his father not being in his life. And, you know, we kind of related. And I said, well, mine wasn't either. You know what I'm saying? At that time, I was bitter, effing, blah, blah. But that's not really how I felt. I was really hurt. And so we ended up getting into it or something. He cheated or something. And then he came back and he was talking. And I went in. I'm talking about I went in so hard on him about his daddy didn't want him. Your daddy didn't want your punk ass. And the tears had went down his face. Now, usually when men tears come down, they really about to tear your head off. Right?
Yeah, they are.
But he said to me,
it's almost like run. That's your warning signal.
But I was ready. When I said it, I had my thing on me because I already knew what I was saying, that he was getting ready. And he said, he had tears run down his face. He said, "You a dirty B. You know that?" He said, "I'm telling you something that came from my heart, and now you using it as artillery to hurt me like that." You know what I'm saying? But he had tears running down his face. And I was like, "Get your weak crying ass out of here, nigga. Punk ass." So a lot of times men don't show that side. Yeah, because they are afraid that women like who I was then. Now, wait a minute before everybody be like, "That's low down." Quiet in my Nana voice. That's not it. I just said that he hurt me. He had cheated. Yeah. He had a baby on me. I could have. You're right. I could have just.
You were striking out. You were striking out.
I was striking out. You hurt me. I'm hurting you, and I can't beat you up. So I said that. But, and he was a so-called, you know, really respected in the streets, supposed to be somebody people really revered because he was a dangerous guy. But he had tears running behind his, you know, just. And so a lot of time I'm saying all that to say that sometimes when a man do try to show their emotional side, the women say things like that, and that make them not want to show us the soft side of them. They don't have to be hard all the time, is what I'm saying. It's okay for a brother to say, "That hurt me, baby." You know what I'm saying? Why would you say that?
We've done a lot of stuff to wound our brothers now.
I'm guilty.
No, let me be clear. We have done as women, we've done things to hurt our men. Like, even when you think about in the club when you sitting with your girls and a guy come up and he asks somebody to dance and then everybody bust out laughing or they do something goofy and they make him walk away like he done did something shameful. He just asked one of y'all goofy girls to dance. And now at 53, you be begging for somebody to come up and pick you to dance. The girls is dancing with the girls. The boys is dancing with the boys, honey. Because don't nobody want to ask nobody to dance. It's like people don't even dance anymore. You hear me?
No.
People are not dancing anymore. It's like we dancing in herds of women. Like we
dancing in the mirror by ourselves. Yeah, we in the mirror dancing by ourselves.
I don't want to do that. I want to dance in front of somebody's son. I want him to dance first. I want him to take my hand, twirl me around. Yes. I want to do all of that. I want to have that kind of action, but we have wounded men. They don't ask to dance anymore. You know, and then we've done a lot of things to men to disarm them. I recognize that. Hey, Tippy. I recognize that. I recognize the damage that we have caused. However, you know, I just hope that, you know, we get to some point of restoration where a woman can be a woman, who she wants to be and who she should be naturally, and that men can be men, who they should be and what they are supposed to be naturally. Because we have gotten away from a lot of natural processes.
I agree. I believe I totally I agree with that so much. You and I, although like I said, did different turns. It's just beautiful how two women from two different walks of life can come together. And at the end of the day, like you said, we are women naturally. Yeah. I am a woman. I'm soft. I, like you said, I don't want to be hard. I don't want to. I had a dude tell me, and he said to me, "Listen, I don't want my homeboy in bed. I want my woman in bed," because I was, like I said, and it was a defense mechanism, meaning, you know what I'm saying, like I just was always on the defense, you know what I'm saying? And so he was saying it's okay to calm down, bring it down. And most of the time when I did, I did, and it felt great to do it, you know what I'm saying? So now, you know, now my personality, I can't help that I am a strong female, and I'm not gonna dumb myself down so you can feel smart, and I'm not gonna tone all the way down so you can feel some strength. You should come in the door already having that's what your mom and dad and you yourself and God do. Shit, I'm neither of that. I need you to come in and be self-sustained, understand what you want, and I want you to feed me. I want us to come together spiritually. I've always been the one that had to share the good news or share about different perspectives spiritually. Listen, if you can talk to me spiritually and I'm like this, I can barely even hear you talk about the word, because I'm really thinking about going to bed now, because I'm so turned on by that, because it's so rare where somebody can, like, they on your level or further, where they can, and just because I don't agree with him, we can agree to disagree, and at the end of the day, we had a great conversation. Conversation is so rare to me now. I very rarely can catch a brother that have a very good conversation. It's so rare. The conversation is limited. It's like they don't know what to talk about. And so what can I do with them, Juanita? So Bailey said, I want them to make executive decisions and stick to them. That's it.
Well, yes, Angel. I totally agree with you, but when we think about, just when they be talking about the scales of justice, like when we talk about them scales, like, you can be soft as a woman because a man has created a foundation for you to be that. And just like sometimes we have to create an environment for him to be his best.
We do.
We have to create an environment where he is going to be accepted, like where we can accept what he's doing. And the other piece of it is, if he is a wise man, if he's a wise man, strong man, all of these things, and you can accept his direction instead of bucking. He say something, you be like, what? Yeah. It's like, listen, listen, because sometimes you are sent somebody who to help lead you a little bit. But if you're a silly woman, you know the Bible talks about silly women. The Bible talks about silly women. So when you lean into your silliness, your own silliness, then guess what? He can't be his best version of a man, because your silly ass.
For real. Silly. No, for real.
So when I think about, like, that guy who is like, and we might be doing this a lot. He might catch me when I'm down. He got to pull me up. And then I'm like, we going to be doing this. And every now and then we going to be just right where we supposed to be. But for the most part, this is how the relationships go.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Suppose a brother got it all together. I'm talking about everything we want in a man, but he trash in bed.
Well, guess what? Let me tell you about that.
Okay.
So here's the thing. The older you get, the less important that's going to be.
That's true.
The older you get, the less important.
That's so true.
What somebody doing in the bed is going to be.
It is.
Like, I'm so interested in somebody having a healthy ass conversation.
That's where I'm at.
Like, girl, I'm so interested in having a healthy conversation. Somebody who is, and that, so it's amazing when you can say, ooh, I want to do this. And he's like, well, baby, tell me about that. And then we can have a conversation about it. Or he can tell me some of the things he's really wanted to do. Or I've never been to the Dayton Art Institute. I bet 70% 94% of the African American men in the whole city of Dayton have never visited the Dayton Art Institute.
That's so crazy you say that, because a brother just told me he's never been.
So just think about, like, so some of the spaces that you may have been privy to go, it's like, these things are regular for me. Like, these are spaces that I always go to. Mm-hmm. So somebody was talking to me about dating, ain't nothing else ever to do. It's like, baby, I could be entertained every day.
It's something to do every day.